Living Bread, a reflection for the 19th Sunday in Ordinary Time. In today's first reading, we meet Elijah, the prophet, at a low point in his career. Exhausted and discouraged to the point of despair, he prays, "This is enough, Lord. Take my life, for I am no better than my fathers." How did this Old Testament hero come to such a pass? Let me sum up. Elijah challenges and defeats the prophets of the false god Baal in spectacular fashion, calling down fire and rain from heaven. He incites the gathered witnesses against the pretenders, and the people seize all 450, dragging them down to the brook of Kishon. There Elijah dispatches them one by one. King Ahab, undoubtedly impressed, races the storm home and gives a full account to his wife, Jezebel. She, the original Baal devotee, vows revenge against Elijah. "May the gods do thus and so to me if by this time tomorrow I have not done with your life what you have done to each of them." Elijah runs for his life, heading south into Judah. Today's passage picks up as Elijah leaves his servant behind and goes into the desert alone. There he sits down in the shade of a broom tree and prays for death. But it appears the Lord has other plans. Attended by an angel and provided bread from heaven, Elijah finds the strength to walk 40 days and nights to the mountain of God. Psalm 34 speaks gently to Elijah and to every other weary and spent soul. Taste and see the goodness of the Lord. The text resonates with the prophet's experience. Elijah sought the Lord, who answered and delivered him from fear. Afflicted, the prophet called out, and the Lord heard his cry and saved him from distress. The angel of the Lord, code for God's personal presence, remained near at hand, encamped, as Elijah ate, drank, and rested to restore his strength. This Sunday, we continue with the Bread of Life discourse from John 6. Last week, we heard Jesus chide the hungry crowd, "Do not work for food that perishes, but for food that endures for eternal life, which the Son of Man will give you." We call fresh food perishable, meaning that without some effort at preservation, it will soon lose flavor and begin to spoil. Except for fruit that needs a day or two to ripen, perishables go directly into the refrigerator for safekeeping. Alas, even there, food can perish. It just takes longer. In the oppressive heat of Galilee, no such luxury existed. Fresh food had to be processed in some way to preserve it. Fish were dried, smoked, or salt-cured. Grains roasted or baked into dry cakes or flat bread, olives pickled in brine and stored in oil, and grapes fermented into wine. Those who heard Jesus knew all about the fleeting nature of fresh food. They worked hard to harvest and preserve enough to last through the lean months. Jesus uses food as his primary metaphor, knowing that these people will listen hard, bound as they are to the daily grind of securing their daily bread. Offering himself as the bread of life, Jesus invites the people into an entirely new existence beyond the ordinary struggle for survival. Yet, the possibility of lasting food, living bread, seems too good to be true, especially coming from one as humble and ordinary as Jesus. we hear their reaction. Is this not Jesus, the son of Joseph? Do we not know his father and mother? Then how can he say, I have come down from heaven? Jesus shushes their murmuring, just as God did with the gift of manna in last Sunday's reading from Exodus, and claims his heavenly origin as one who has seen and been sent by the Father. Bread of life means more than bread for food. Jesus connects it to God's teaching, coming down from heaven to them through him. We hear this living bread language and think, Eucharist, the sacrament in which the risen Christ shares his very life with us, in the context of worship that opens our ears to God's life-giving word.